I thought I'd start off the year by sharing with you my resolutions. Hello and welcome. I'm Akram Birth, and you're watching Akram's Ideas, bringing creative and crazy ideas to life. This is the first episode of Akram's Ideas for 2019, which kicks off our season 4 of Akram's Ideas. And I thought I'd start off the year by sharing with you my resolutions. To see more episodes like this, be sure to click the like button, subscribe to our channel, and hit the bell icon to get notified of new videos. Now this is a tag that was started I think last year or the year before last by two sewing vloggers, Cotton by Candy and Fabric Magpie. And so I'm going to go through the questions. There are 5 questions in this tag, and then once I go through those, I'll also talk about some of my other sewing goals for 2019. The first question is, what was your favorite make of 2018? Now, I actually had sort of a 2018 sewing recap video that I did at the end of last year, and I'll put the link for you guys to go check it out. I made mention about some of my favorite projects last year, and as far as the funnest make of last year, obviously was my Sew Frosting gold dress that I made. But I also made mention of a couple of other items. My proudest make, which was my sofa slipcover, and my most used pattern, which I'm already thinking in my head more variations of that, and that is of course the Coco Waha Crafts honeycomb dress and top. And I made 2 of the dresses, 2 of the tops. I used it a lot last year, and I'm already planning more. It's a super flattering look. I love both the dress and the tops, and I plan to make many more of those this year. The second question is, what did you attempt in 2018 that you won't be attempting this year? So there's nothing that I attempted that I would say sewing-wise that I wouldn't attempt this year, but I think one of the things that I realized, and this was later on at the end of the year in November when we were doing the 1 week, 1 pattern challenge, and I was wearing all my Delphine skirts, and I did a whole video about my different Delphine skirts and how I constructed them and everything, because I've pretty much made a Delphine every year for the last few years. And so as I was talking about it, some of my very first Delphine skirts I made just kind of on a whim. I just went into my sewing room and was like, oh, I've got this fabric, what could I make? And I made a Delphine skirt from, of course, the Tilly and the Buttons book, Love at First Stitch. So I was thinking about that when I was making that video, and I realized that this past year, and even back in 2017, I hadn't really given myself the opportunity to just sew. It felt like I was always having to do like, oh, what can I do for a vlog? Oh, what challenge is coming up? And granted, I really do enjoy doing the challenges, and they're a lot of fun, but I felt like I was always having to do a project for a challenge, that I wasn't just coming into the sewing room and like, oh, this fabric's really cute, what can I make today? And my sewing time is so limited that I felt like all I could do was make projects for challenges and not just for the fun of it. And so I want to take a step back and really focus on that part of it. I don't want to be constantly doing challenge after challenge and making things because that's the trend right now. I want to just go into the sewing room and have a more relaxed feel of like, you know what, I'm going to sew and I'm just going to randomly pick out stuff. So I'm not going to push myself into the narrow mindset of a plan of action for a specific month or for a specific season. And while I'll still do some of the sewing challenges, I'm not going to be like die hard dedicated to doing every single challenge that comes out this year. The third question is, what will you continue to make? And basically the same, like I said earlier, the same things that I've been making. I have new patterns that I got for Christmas, obviously. I once again joined the Sew Over It PDF club, so I'm looking forward to some stuff there. And I've got a lot of vintage patterns that I really want to dedicate some time to this year. There's nothing that I did last year as far as sewing wise that I won't continue on with. There are several patterns that I already know that I'll be using again this year. Like I said, the honeycomb pattern, I will definitely be using that again. The Sew Over It vintage shirt dress, this is the one I'm wearing here. I'll probably be making more of these. Though I don't want to like pigeon myself into a specific shirt dress pattern. I'd like to experiment with other ones, but this one fits so well. I love it. That I'll probably make some more of these. But yeah, I'll just keep going the route that I'm going as far as sewing types of projects. But again, going back to the last question, I want to have more freedom of just randomly picking projects when I'm in the mood to sew. The next question, question number 4, is what will you try this year that you haven't tried last year or haven't tried before? Let me introduce you to my latest acquisition for the sewing room. Now, this was a Christmas present from my husband, and this is a Brothers SE 625, and this was specifically gotten because I had been talking about how I would like to start doing some embroidering, and I'd seen some hand embroidering that was amazing, but I am not a hand embroidery type of person. I really wanted something that I could use on a machine, and after looking around, I come to the conclusion that I wanted this particular machine because it is an embroidery machine and sewing machine. And I think I've mentioned in a few videos at the end of last year that my 2 main machines are vintage machines, and while I had them serviced and cleaned and everything when I got them, I haven't had them cleaned or serviced since then. And so my main machines need to go into service. So I really wanted, if I was getting a new machine, I wanted another sewing machine that I could use if those were not available to me, but also as an embroidery machine as this one is here. And like I said, this is what I got for Christmas. It's also going to be my first computerized machine because, again, I've been using vintage machines up until now. The first modern machine I got was my serger, which is the Brothers 1034D, which I absolutely love, and I was very happy with that Brothers machine that I decided to go with this Brothers machine again because the convenience of the embroidery and sewing machine. Now, as you can see, I haven't really even unwrapped this. I think I'm a little bit nervous about diving into it because it is a computerized machine, because there's a lot to it. Another thing that I actually got for Christmas is a brand new sewing setup, which has not arrived yet. We ordered that from IKEA, so a whole new set of sewing desks to accommodate the new machine and the new arrangement. And so over Christmas break, I've actually been working on rearranging and reorganizing the sewing room, so I haven't gotten into this machine. But as far as what do I hope to tackle this year is embroidering, and I actually watched a whole bunch of Instagram stories over the holiday break of Emily Hallman, who is doing some amazing embroidering, and I was like, oh, I'm totally gonna get on the bandwagon with that. So I'm super excited for this, and this is something that I'm hoping to delve into once I get the new arrangement and the machine set up. Look for videos on my progress with this machine. So if you have this machine, I'd love to hear in the comments below any tips or tricks you might have for it, because like I said, this is a new venture for me, and this is my big thing that I'm going to try to take on this year. Alright, question number 5 and the last question of the resolutions is, where do you see your wardrobe at the end of the year? Where do you see it in 5 years? Okay, so at the end of the year, I really don't know. I lost 30 pounds from January to December in 2018, and I've got 30 pounds more that I want to lose. So, my wardrobe may change dramatically just because if I lose the extra 30 pounds the other 30 pounds that I want to, then nothing's gonna fit. So things are gonna have to change. Granted, the style of clothes that I make probably won't. Just a lot of the things that I made last year and a lot of things that I'll probably be making early this year, probably by the end of this year, if I stay true to my workout routine, probably won't fit. So my goal is to get to my goal weight at the end of this year, and once I'm at that goal weight, I just want to kind of maintain that weight so that I can, you know, going forward, always kind of have an idea of what my size is and be able to build a wardrobe around that healthy size that I need to be. So with that said, I want this year to be more of a practice year for making things that I know probably next year won't fit. So practice year for making pants, more button down shirts because I need those, and I need more practice doing all the buttonholes and buttons and everything and getting the fit right. So this is more of a practice year, and like I said, by the end of the year, I suspect that going into 2020, I'm going to be doing a whole new wardrobe, and I have whole new ideas about the direction that I'm going to go with that. The second part of that is, where do you see your wardrobe in 5 years? I don't know. 5 years is a long time in my head. But, you know, like I've said in the past, if I get to that healthy goal weight that I want to be, my ultimate goal is to have the wardrobe of the 1960s Parent Trap movie. Like, I have every single outfit from that movie. So that's like ideal situation, is to have every single outfit from that movie. But also, you know, just the same types of garments that I've been making, like the vintage shirt dress. I mean, I love shirt dresses. Those are going to be a iconic piece in my wardrobe. I'd like to make more suits and blazers and things like that. As I've said in the past, I like to do everything with a bit of a vintage flair. So more items that have a vintage flair, and that's going back looking at what I did last year, is that I kind of got on the bandwagon of doing a lot of patterns and even doing pattern testing, where the clothes that I was making weren't necessarily always my particular style. It didn't have as much as a vintage flair, and I was trying to put that into it, and sometimes it was successful and sometimes it wasn't. So I really like to try to focus on making garments that have that more of a vintage appeal, and again, clothes that are versatile that I could wear to the office and then also wear around on the weekends and things like that. So who knows where it's going to be in 5 years, but again, every sewing project is a practice, and the more you do it, the better you get, and the better you have an idea of where you're going to go with your wardrobe. So I guess that's my take on the whole, where is your wardrobe going to be? I hope you guys enjoy it all. We are so close to 1,000 subscribers, and hopefully this year is going to be the year we're going to make it to 1,000 subscribers here on Akram's Ideas. So if you haven't already subscribed, be sure to subscribe so you don't miss all the new wonderful things that's happening in season 4 of Akram's Ideas. I hope you've enjoyed this episode of Akram's Ideas, and I'd love to hear in the comments below what your sewing goals and plans are for this year. As always, thanks for watching.
Akram's Ideas of bringing creative and crazy ideas to life. My sewing resolutions or resolutions for 2019.